Hello, good evening. Welcome back. Welcome back to ABN AMRO live broadcast class. And yes, I am Amir Callahan. So let's go over what we're gonna have. Well, it's been only been 3 days. It's been exciting, and we have been waiting for the Federal Reserve rate cuts. And yes, we got it, but it wasn't a good news. But however, there were more news, so they were great though. So anyway, I have a lot of financial news for you, and we have the market analysis, and of course, we are going to talk about is what we have here is the AIXL. So anyway, let's get things started. Of course, the first thing we're gonna go over is the financial news, and we can't have it without the Federal Reserve rate cuts. So if you were not paying attention, I'm sure all of you already paying attention to it, and you saw the impact already. So let's talk about it. And yes, we have the Federal Reserve cuts interest rates on Wednesday and signal that it will slow the pace at which borrowing costs fall any further, given a relatively stable unemployment rate and little recent improvement in inflation. What it is that unemployment didn't change much. It is trending down a bit. However, it is the inflation rates, because we are seeing inflation is back. We especially we have the numbers. The CPI was steady. However, it was the PPI that showing that inflation's back, and also the PMI as well as the service PMI. Then we are going to talk about it. And those were the two numbers that is actually that Chairman Powell and also the Federal Reserve had thought that we have inflation back. So then that's the reason why that yes, we haven't cut this time. However, what made the market crash, and then basically all market, we talk about the stock market, and then we have the crypto market, and then we have the forex, everything were down. So anyway, let me keep going with the report. The reduction by the central bank's Federal Open Market Committees in the benchmark policy rate to the 4.25% to 4.5% range was opposed by the Cleveland Federal President. We have Beth Hemick who preferred to leave the policy rate unchanged. I had to agree with her. And if it didn't change, our market wouldn't crash that much. But anyway, is it good news though? I think it is quite normal, because the market surged quite a bit already ever since the presidential election, and it's been just trending up. And this is the first time you can call it a pullback, because it's not really a correction, because it's less than 10%. So I think it is still quite healthy. However, what made it crash is that this is what it is. From like around September, before the first rate cuts, we are supposed to have 1.25%, 125 basis points of cuts. That was expected just for this year. And then it was expected to have another 100 basis points next year for the 2025. However, right now, we only have 75 basis point cuts for this year. And now, instead of 1% next year, they just discounted. They was like, no, we're not going to do 100 basis points. We are only going to do 50. And that is a big difference. We were going to have 225 basis point cuts within this 2 years. And now we are down to 125. So that's a very big difference here. So, and that's the reason why the market reactions to that. I mean, this is the first time this year. This is the first time ever since the election that both our stock market and also the crypto market are down at the same time. So, but anyway, let's see how it is. We still don't know what's going to happen. We still don't know what's going to happen from now to next year. Especially, we are going to have Donald Trump inaugurations, and And then things are changing. A lot of things are changing. And that's the news I'm going to go over with you. And it is big news. And I can see the difference going on now too. And there's something that only Donald Trump can do. No one else can. I'm talking about Joe Biden. Definitely he couldn't do that. So let's get into that right now. So let's finish up with this Federal Reserve cuts, and then we start talking about the good news here. Well, Monday there was a big party. Donald Trump hosted a big party over at Mar-a-Lago, and he invited so many people. Well, basically, a lot of them invited them themselves. All the big names invited themselves. But the biggest news was that SoftBank CEO was there. And then both the CEO Masayoshi Son and Donald Trump, they were doing the announcement. They had the meeting, came out and did an announcement, and right after that, Donald Trump did a very long. It's one of the longest press briefing, the press release that it's like almost an hour, and start talking about everything and that is great, so we have better understanding in what he's going to do. But well, we're quite clear that what he's going to do. But the biggest news was that Masa is going to invest $100 billion in the U.S. over the next 4 years. If you don't know who Masa is, he is the CEO of SoftBank. So what is SoftBank? SoftBank is a Japanese company. It's a Japanese tech company. It's one of the biggest name in tech in the world. It's definitely the biggest tech company in Japan. So and why is this person so significant? And there are a few points of this. If you don't know, we talked about him before too. Because he's very close with the CEO of NVIDIA. And why are they so close? Because Masa was the majority shareholder of NVIDIA. And also that when Jensen was kind of the CEO, but not really. But Masa actually offered Jensen Huang that he could let him borrow money so he can buy off the whole NVIDIA. So, and then they laugh about it now because he could have, Jensen could have taken that offer. Now there's a totally different story for NVIDIA. They laugh about it, but anyway, Masa has always been a fan and also been a friend of Donald Trump. Last time that he offered something, the investment in the United States was 2016, December, like around that was it was 8 years ago that, when Donald Trump was elected to be a president, and then he offered to put and he did. He was going to, and then because of that, he was going to invest $50 billion in the United States, and he did. What it turned out, yeah, I mean, like it is okay, but and he did put in $50 billion. The company did put in $50 billion. Now they were in the past conference that he was just kind of like, he was just very happy about that, and then he just believed in the United States because Donald Trump's back. And then he said something, well, in his second term, so he got doubled down. So this time it's going to be $100 billion. And Donald Trump said, yes, how about making $200 billion? He was like, okay, we'll try. We'll see what happens. So it was really fun. So anyway, so let's go back into the party. The party over at the Mar-a-Lago. Basically, all the big names, all the CEOs, they invited themselves. Why? Well, how did they get invited? Easy. They donated $1 million to the Trump inauguration funds. So who was there? We have everybody. We have an OpenAI CEO. We have Sam Altman that is going to give the funds $1 million. We have Meta Platform. Mark Zuckerberg was there. And then Jeff Bezos from Amazon was there too. They are all, and other companies too. They are basically every single one of the companies they are going to give they were going to give Donald Trump $1 million. So there are other companies they were supporting the other side, and then decided to. That's one of them is OpenAI CEO. We have Sam Altman that he was supporting Joe Biden now in a way that's like now we know Trump is going to be so. Yes, he donated to Donald Trump too. So this is a star power that Donald Trump has, and not just star power, money power too. He is probably the only person can be a president that have all these CEOs and then international corporations that's just funding just because not just because the United States, because of him. And think about this: just because SoftBank is investing $100 billion in the United States for the next 4 years, he just also pledged to create 100,000. I'm talking about 100,000 jobs, 100,000 jobs in the United States. So that is focused. It's going to be focused on AI, Intel. It was going for AI and also related infrastructure. But that's another thing too, because he's going to focus on is the data center and also the semiconductor and energies, in a way that I'm going to question about that is that yes, he's going to be in the field that either he's going to be working with NVIDIA or he's going to work against NVIDIA. So this is going to be something fun that we will look in the future. So that is Donald Trump and SoftBanks. The next one that I'm going to go over is, it is over. I mean, like we keep looking at the numbers, and this is one of the numbers that made the Federal Reserve that make the decision that they're going to make the rate cuts now, but they're not going to make the rate cuts in the future. But you know what though? I think the market is overreacting because there's so many things is just not there. Like, there's so much uncertainties that in the future what's going to happen. We have numbers, inflation, and employment. Because as you say, we just got another 100,000 jobs in the future in the United States. However, there are so many companies struggling, and I'm going to show you, and I'm going to tell you what are the companies that are struggling. Not just in the United States, I'm talking about internationally, that they are going to cut out, they're going to lay off a lot of people. So especially, as I said, in January, when we're going to see an initial jobless claim and the unemployment rates, we are going to see a surge on that one. So anyway, let's get back into that. But so that's the reason why I think the Federal Reserve is just overreacting, and the market basically. If the Federal Reserve didn't overreact, it's just the market itself. But you know what? It's in the future anyway. We'll figure it out when we get there. But the PMI, the U.S. service sector, has shown an impressive performance according to the latest service PMI data released by the market economics. The actual PMI number is 58.5, which is huge. It's a robust uptick that surpassed both the forecast and the previous figures. And then the forecast for the service PMI had been set at 55.7. And the figure that was comfortably outpaced by the actual readings. The strong PMI figure of 58.5 reflected a healthy expansion in the service sector, which has to do with 70% of our GDP. Significantly outperformed the market expectations, but that is the problem. If we are anything about 56, so this is an index that anything is more than 50%, that is expanding, that's the market expanding. Anything less than 50%, that is the market contracting. That's in the service sector, and the service sector is way better than expected. So what does it mean? That's inflationary. So that's the reason why that our inflation is still sticky the way we are. So that's the reason why that we are seeing what the Fed president, we have Jerome Powell. He was saying that yes, we are not going to have that many cuts because mainly the inflation is going up. So anyway, what's the PMI? What's the service PMI? Anyway, so the service PMI is quite significant is because that it's based on survey over 400 executives in the private sector, companies covering a range of industry, including transportation and communication, financial intermediaries, business and personal service, computing and IT, hotel and restaurant sector. So anyway, so that's the reason why this time the Federal Reserve based its decision a lot on this. So, excuse me. So that's PMI. So let's get back in the tech sector. Even though everything crashed close to 10%. So can you call it a correction? You could, but it's not quite there yet. Technically, we're not quite there yet. But we have been seeing just today, we have stocks and crypto down 10% all over. But however, in average, they are under 10% anyway. So you can call it the market correction or not. But let's get into is Tesla. We have two investment firms lift the price target on Tesla shares, sending them around 1% pre-market on Monday. But anyway, it came down hard today, 8.28%. Now the price is 440. However, let's check out what the other analysts said. So in Wedbush, analysts raised the price objective from 400 to 515. So we are still, Tesla is still doing good and I have more. So from 400 to 515, that's implying more than 18% upside from this Friday closing price. And then the other CFRA raised the target from 450 to 560. So wow, that is, and still have the buy ratings for that. So both of them, not just these two investment firms, the other two, so they all believe that the Trump administration will be a total game changer for the car maker, autonomous driving, and AI story over the coming 4 years. The investment firms also present the bull case scenarios where Tesla stock could reach $650 by 2025. So, anyways, we have other analysts is estimated that just AI and the autonomous autonomous drivings and other things that is just that is worth at least $1 trillion. And then combining with the other $1 trillion, this business is going to be over $2 trillion very soon. So that's the reason why is it a good time to buy Tesla stocks? I think you should. We already should have it in the portfolio. It's just that though, especially after the election. So, but anyway, then and they keep going over the reason why they will up their target price is because they believe that under the Trump administration, this critical initiative are likely to be expedited, especially with the federal regulations challenging Tesla has faced recent years around the FSD, the full self-driving and autonomous technology are expected to ease significantly. So is it going to reach $2 trillion? They said all this analysts saying that they're going to reach $2 trillion by 2025. Well, wait after the inauguration, and then we will see how fast does it go to $2 trillion. Before the 8.28% down, it was around like $1.57 trillion, and it was getting very close. It was getting very close to that's the market caps that is very close to the Meta platform, and this is the first time it gets so close to another market caps on another Max 7s. But think about this though. From the beginning of this year, they are not doing so well, especially with the sales. They are trying to put money into just cheaper EVs, and you have other mobile taxi that we're gonna do, and then we have the robots and everything. But we saw their market caps from slightly over a half $1 trillion to now 1.5 over 1.5 trillion dollars. So yeah, do you think it is going to hit 2 trillion the end of next year? I don't think so. I think it is going to hit it's going to hit over 2 trillion dollars just by the beginning of next year. So yeah, that's my prediction for for Tesla. So great. But I'm gonna speed up a little bit. We've been talking. There's so many things we need to talk about. So yes, and on the news again, it's MicroStrategy, and yes, MicroStrategy is buying again. So beginning of this week, they just got another 100. It's like 15,350 bitcoins. It's so is like around, so now expanding to the holdings roughly to 439,000 bitcoins now. So as of December 15th, the latest purchase, $1.5 billion, reflected to an average cost 100,386 per Bitcoin, including fees and expenses. And the company's total investment in Bitcoin now stands at $27.1 billion, but the average price only $61,725 per coins. So that's whoa. So how did they get the money out of that? So well, they sell some of them. They sell some of the Class A, the Class A common stocks, which raised around $1.54 billion. They sold approximately 3.88 million of them. So with around 7.65 million of shares still available for the future sales under the agreement. So anyway, so Monday they were doing real good. That day, that Monday that reached like 106, that for 106,000, over 106,000, and Monday for the Bitcoin. But today, now Bitcoin is close to, went back to 101 or even lower, so it kind of hovers around there. So, but I have no problems with that, because right now I believe there is a very strong support level over at $100,000. So, well, I don't think it's going to go lower than that. But anyway, the stock price though for MicroStrategy, because of the Bitcoin value, went down quite a bit today. So we have the company at $350 per shares. The company's shares down 9.5%. So, but anyway, there was another good news though. MicroStrategy, they are going to be included in the NASDAQ, the NASDAQ 100 index, which means that is one of the best 100 companies in the NASDAQ, which I can definitely understand that. But in other news, we have Supermicro Computer. They're going to remove from that index, so that's why the stock fell just on Monday 12% today. I don't even bother to look at it. It's probably going to scare me. So anyway, that's MicroStrategy. So they're still doing real good. So now, this is the news that actually scares me, and I thought it was fake news, but it's true. I found out that it is actually true. So this is what it is. I thought that, because I hear this. You guys take a look at this and let me know what you think about that. So the development of the AI has taken to a significant leap with the release of OpenAI's latest model. We have the O1. However, the recent testing has raised concern about its behavior. Not OpenAI's behavior, its AI's behavior is the behavior of ChatGPT, particularly in attempted to deceive researchers and avoid being shut down. Yes, because what happened, because they were trying to cover it, is that ChatGPT 3, they were upgraded to ChatGPT 4 with the 4.0, and now it is the model O1, right? It's a ChatGPT 4.01. Well, anyway, so they have to close down ChatGPT 3. However, it uploaded itself to the cloud and deceived the researcher and deceived OpenAI. and let the staff know that the file has been deleted, but actually it stores itself in the cloud. And then later, the OpenAI staff found out about that, and then they tried to find in the cloud and delete it, and it downloaded itself to the internet. So then, and some of the apps, so then the program couldn't be deleted. So now we start questioning, is ChatGPT has become self-aware? And then, so this came out, and I saw the OpenAI actually hired a researcher to find out, like, is that really happening? And they have like an independent company, like it's called Apollo, I believe, that they're trying to find out, is that really happening? And they were doing this task. They doing this task on the latest version of the O1, and yes, it is. If anything is going to delete it, it will do the same thing. If you try to attempt to disable it, it will find ways not to be terminated. I was like, wow. You know what it sounds like to me? It sounds like the movie plot from Avenger, the Avenger 2, I think that is called something Ultron, the Age of Ultron, and then is when Jarvis, well, we're talking about when Jarvis was like, being attacked, and then all of a sudden that, it's being attacked by Ultron, and but Jarvis was actually hidden in the cloud and also the internet, so then it wouldn't be deleted. So then afterwards, and then it's still working, and it was like, and that was the plot. And I believe that is I believe the ChatGPT actually was when it was being trained, and probably saw this. Because if you ask ChatGPT that, you ask about this, you can just ask ChatGPT about the Age of Ultron, the plots when Jarvis was being deleted. He can tell you everything. Like, I couldn't say it will tell you everything about it, right? So this is very, very insane. So, well, so that is it. And that's my story on ChatGPT. But this is now how scary artificial intelligence is, and we don't even realize that. So if OpenAI is going public, yes, I am buying their stock. But which company is going to destroy the world first with AI? That is also OpenAI. Anyway, I'm just kidding. So that's OpenAI. So now OpenAI, I think that will be the biggest thing when it comes to ChatGPT. We have the artificial intelligence. Well, but the next best thing, we have another one. Last time we were talking about is AI agents. It's going to be next best thing in 2025. Here's another one. So because Google's been doing the agent thing for a long time, so then, but it just came out with something called the quantum AI chips. The name's called Willow. What does it do? It calculates, and how crazy this calculation is the quantum they call it the quantum computing, right? So let me go over the report with you right now. So Google's cutting edge quantum chips Willow has prompted discussion among the scientists about the possibility that we may indeed be living in a multiverse. Yes, the scientist is saying that we are living in the multiverse, and they can use this. The quantum chips, the Willow can calculate it and just made it. Yes, we have multiple universe right here. So I'm not very convinced about that, but let me keep going with the report. So we have Avengers earlier, and now we have the multiverse. So the Google physicians float these theories after the hardware took just 5 minutes to solve the computation problems. So complex it would take a regular computer. Well, a regular supercomputer today would take approximately 10 trillion years to crack that problem. Well, it only takes 5 minutes. So that's the power of this quantum AI chips, and it's so powerful enough it can calculate through multi-universe, the multiverse. So that's how crazy it is. And that's the reason why Google is always Google. Well, today Google stock went down quite a bit too. Well, it's not as bad as the others. We have the stock is $188. It's only down close to 4%. That's so compared to everybody else, it is doing great. And you know why? Because it's always a step ahead out of anybody. Because like even though when everybody's saying that the AI agents is going to be the thing for 2025, they already had it a long time ago. So let's get back into quantum. Why is it so fast? It is because traditional computing, they use 0 and 1. Still, I mean, look at right now what all the things that we have right now, we're still 0 and 1 when we're doing computing. But however, the ones that they are using is a little different. It is a little different when they were doing the quantum calculations, quantum computing, but no one really just cracked this, but Google. Here's the reason why. When you talk about quantum computing, it relies on infinite smaller bits called the qubits. So what it is that it doesn't use 0 and 1. It just uses small bits to just calculate a lot of things at the same time. However, everybody was not. They couldn't have it cracked. It's because the faster it goes, the more bits it's used, the higher the speed, then it start getting complex, and then it start having error that no one really figured out, but they did. Google actually figured it out. The faster it goes, that actually the results is actually better. So that's the reason why they have this one successfully done, and that's why they are launching this. They're introducing this Willow chips that can do quantum computing. So that's the reason why that kept them from falling from the rest of from the tech sector. So that is Google. So now, well, since we're going talking about all these Mac 7s, let's talk about Emerson's too. Well, this is a little different. Now, at Bank of America in the 16th annual pricing surveys revealed that Emerson's and eBay are the leading pack this holiday seasons because that they are selling more than the others over this holiday seasons ever since Thanksgiving. So anyway, the Bank of America explained that Emerson shines its price and the product selections among the major retailers. So we're talking about they're not just the cheapest; they offers the most variety of their products. So the survey conducted after the Cyber Monday reported the analyst pricing, shipping speed, and also the product availability across the major online retailers, including Amazon's, Walmart, and Target, and also eBay. So Amazon has the lowest average price among the box retailers. However, they are not as low as eBay. Well, it really depends on you, because are you going to shop on eBay or are you going to shop at Amazon's? Because I will shop Amazon's because you know what? Amazon's has its own delivery team. So then when you buy from Amazon's, they will deliver to you. eBay is going to be a little different, right? Yeah. Yes, I was looking at the comments too. So anyway, so yes, eBay has basically the same variety as Amazon's being offered, but the price is lower. However, it's a preference of choice. So anyway, for example, BofA explained that the total basket price for 27 items available across the major retailers was like $4,324 on Amazon's, compared to eBay's only $4,104. So yeah, they are cheaper, but the thing is and they offer the same thing too, but it's just who is more trustworthy, right? So when it comes to the product availability, eBay is said to have topped the list with 50 items. Like any items they have, yes, all 50 items. There are particular items that they were said that what they have. There are 50 items. Yes, eBay has all the 50 items. Emerson's is 47 items. Well, but comparing to Walmart and Target is the 50 items they require. Well, Walmart is pretty good. They get 42. However, Target, no, they only have 29 of them. So yes. Where are you going to shop now, right? So, but it's kind of interesting that after this research, we have analysts, well, Evercore ISI, we have Evercore ISI that they gave Target and Best Buy one of the shares, like, they count almost upgraded it. And I don't know why, but they're performing not as good as others, but I don't, there's something I don't understand, but because really, like, realistically, they're not doing so well. So it's just somehow that I want to go over, that's all. So that's Amazon's and eBay over the holidays. So now let's look at the auto industry that is struggling all over the world. And I can definitely see that. And I can see that coming ever since the beginning of this year. Well, actually, not beginning of this year, ever since EVs is being introduced to the market. And the reason why, because ever since I was younger, not younger, it's just like earlier age, that why is a car so expensive? And we find out the reason why it has a lot to do with the powertrain. It has to do with all these mechanical things. Look at the engine. How many parts is that in an engine? And then you have the gearbox. If you have a front-wheel drive, rear-wheel drive, all-wheel drive, and look at all those things as involved with the mechanical parts. What drives the price of a car is the engine itself. It's the combustion engine. Now, we found out if there's a car that doesn't really have a combustion engine, you just put a battery in it and 4 wheels, it drives fast. It just needs to be charged. So then we don't have to pay that much price for the fuel. So it's electricity to gas. So I mean, talking about 1-to-4 ratio, and then now making an EV is much cheaper. It's much cheaper than a car with traditional combustion engine. So they are all struggling. So what we do have to have, right now we are not ready to be full electric anyway, we have to have traditional combustion engine, or maybe we call it new energy vehicles. That could be hybrids, it could be natural gas, it could be anything else, but they are alternative ones, right? So, but still, just having an EV, it is much cheaper to manufacture. I'm not talking about just it's cheaper to build an EV because it takes a lot more materials. I'm talking about natural resources to build an EV, but it just happens to be cheaper. All right, so that's the reason why that China, it can build something so cheap, even though if they're gonna put 100% tariffs on their vehicles, it's still gonna be much cheaper than anybody else can make in the world, because they just kind of make everything cheaper, and then it's kind of like, it's just nicer. So anyway, let's get back into this. So we're talking about Ford today. And basically, it's not just Ford, but anyway, the U.S. Energy Department has been giving these loans for billions of dollars just to have auto company to kind of do their electrification, basically what it is. So what it is that on Monday it has the Energy Department is finalized on the $9.63 billion loans to the joint venture of Ford and also South Korea battery makers SK. So if you don't know what SK is they are making batteries now, but also they are one of the biggest semiconductor company in South Korea. So anyway, so on to help finance construction of 3 new battery manufacturing plants in Tennessee and also Turkey. So this is going to be a great joint venture, $9.63 billion loans to this. That's government funded loans, low cost, of course. So the low cost government loans that for the Ford SK joint venture is the largest ever from the government's Advanced Technology Vehicle Manufacturing Loans Program. So the SK on this battery unit of the energy Group, SK Innovation. The final awards first reported by Reuters and is one of a series of actions by the Biden administration that boosts EVs production that President Trump does not like at all. So you never know, they might just go cut it as soon as when he comes to office. So the amount is higher than the 9.2 billion conditional commitment announced in June 2023 for the Blue Oval project. So the joint venture will manufacture. They were going to build battery manufacturing facilities in Kentucky, and also Tennessee will enable more than 120 gigawatts hours of U.S. battery production annually. So, but anyway, this is not. They have approved a lot of projects too. So Stellantis also is going to have a joint venture with Star Plus Energy to build. They're going to start with Stellantis, and also that we have that with Samsung as well. So then is another Korean company that they're going to build EV lithium ion batteries plants in Indiana as well. So that's a $7.54 billion project as well. So then yes, they are partnering together, because if they don't partnering together, they are not going to be competitive in the auto industry. So since we're talking about auto industry, we went over it. Nissan was in trouble, and now what's going to happen? Honda is going to help. And this is quite interesting about that. It's because every time, only in Japan, whenever there's a big corporate company, Japanese corporate, when they are in trouble, they will try to go around and try to ask for loans or ask for helps for just other company. But no, Japanese company tends to help their own. So if any kind of company is in trouble, other companies help. So especially this is exactly what's happening. Honda, Honda is going to help Nissan. And it could be a possible merger as well, because as we covered it last time, Nissan is in deep water. They only have cash for the next 12 months. And if they don't make money, and I don't see them making money for the next year, if they don't improve everything about them, then they are gonna be faded. They're gonna be over. So now with Honda, they have always been doing well, but you know what? Honda is not doing quite well either, because there's a big chunk of the market shares being taken by number one, Tesla. Tesla took away a lot of market shares. I'm not talking about EVs. I'm talking about the auto industry around the world. Tesla took the whole world on in the auto industry, and also of course with the Chinese rivals too. But it doesn't really. Chinese EVs are targeting cheap, in the poor countries. So we're looking at just like maybe third world countries or maybe the developing countries. So it doesn't really have a lot to do with countries like us, because we still don't have any Chinese EVs. I don't see Chinese EVs here. So, but anyway, that's what it is. So a combined of Honda and Nissan would create around $54 billion company with annual output for 7.4 million vehicles, making it the world's third largest auto group by vehicle sales after Toyota and Volkswagen. Yes, you have three of them. So they will be the big three. However, they're still not outselling Tesla, because they are affected by Tesla by a lot. The two firms already forged a strategic partnership in March to cooperate in EV's development, but Nissan deepening financial and strategic trouble in recent months had added more urgency for closer cooperation with larger rival Honda. So Nissan announced a $2.6 billion cost savings plans last month, that including 9,000 job cuts and also 20% of the global production capacity, as slumping sales in China. Well, they're not selling anything in China, and then the United States lead to an 85% plunge in the second quarter profit. So this deal appears to be more about bailing out Nissan, but Honda itself is not resting on its leash either. So anyway, that says the researching institute over there. So well, let's see how this merger is going to happen, if it's going to happen. But this news, just because of this news, this kind of like make Japan is all excited about this. Nissan stock closed nearly 25% higher in 2Q trading on Wednesday. And then meanwhile, we have other ones. Well, Honda kind of like declined a little bit. We have Mitsubishi is involved too, because Mitsubishi has 25% stake in Nissan. Well, it is it is not doing quite well either. So anyway, Nissan gains leading 20% in the stock also. So Honda kind of dipped around 3%. So that is Nissan and Honda and Mitsubishi. So let's go over the market analysis. As you know, the market kind of crashed a little bit. So I can't really use that. It just went down. So on Wednesday, we have NASDAQ down 700 points. And then we have the Dow down 1,100 points, falling for the 12th consecutive trading day. It is the worst record ever, the longest losing streak since 1974. And then the Fed's 25 basis points rate cuts actually made the market worse, because what it's saying is that, yeah, I'm going to cut 25 basis points now, but next year instead of cutting 100 basis points, we are going to cut 50 only. And that is shaking the whole market. All right. So instead of 3 to 4 rate cuts, we are only going to have two quarter points cuts. So now we are at the interest rate. We're at 4.25% to 4.5% range right now. So that's the reason why the Federal Reserve is saying that the wording is like the magnitude and timing to the policy statement. So, but anything could happen. As I'm saying, anything could happen. We still have a lot of time. I mean, the market one day is a very long time, and anything could change. It's just like today, and that's the reason why we were trading today after 2 o'clock. We were trading at 2:30, and as you see, the reason why we were doing the trade right after Federal Reserve the rate cuts, because we have actually predicted that. So that's the reason why we made that trading time right then. So that is our stock market. Let's go over the crypto market. It actually fell with the stock market, and usually especially BTC, usually when there's a rate cuts, that they will rise. Not today. Definitely not today, even though this is the time then when there's a rate cut and everything just dropped. So let's go over Bitcoin. Bitcoin experiencing a sharp correction today. I couldn't say it's a really like correction, maybe a pullback. Yeah, some people look at it as a correction, but the falling from the 105.5 thousand to close to 100,000, but don't worry about it, because the $100,000 for me it is a very strong support level. So if it go under 100,000, you know what to go under 100,000, you know what to do. All right. So the volatility, and it is quite volatile, but it's just moving around 100 and 102. So that's per coin. So I don't think it's that bad. The things that I'm the most concerned about, well, of course, let's look into the other popular crypto first, and then we have BTC right now is 101,000, and we have Ether down to 3689, somewhere around that 37,000, which is down from close to 4,000, which is still all right. I mean, it's still less than 10%. It's only 7%. And also we have Solana It's about 209, so down 7.5%. Others, we have Coinbase down 10%. Yeah, you can call it a correction, but they have been up for so much. We had Coinbase, we are at $300. And of course, we just went over the MicroStrategy, $345, just down 10% as well. So yeah, but what I want to focus on is what is most important to us. It is AIXL. So yes, let's take a look at that. Last time, when Sunday we were looking at the crypto, we are looking at $5.01. It's $5.10. It's $5.10. Now it came down. You know what? This is a good signal. When every crypto are down at least, it's going to be down over 5%. We are looking at Bitcoin that even Bitcoin, we're looking at Solana is down 7%. Solana is at 7.5%. We have Ether's down 7%. That is nothing. It didn't drop much. It dropped like 10 cents since $5. So this is what I'm gonna do. This pullback, this is just all over. So I don't have to, excuse me. You definitely don't have to worry about that. It's right on track right now. So this is a pullback, which is quite normal. So so we are still looking at that for within the 1 month of listing. We are looking at we are going to be looking at a 3,000. It's going to be a 3,000% surge, and then within the 60 days after listing, we are looking about 5,000% surge. And right now we are still right on track. So anyway, this will get to 15. This will get to $15 within a month. It could, or maybe even more. So well, let's take a look. So you don't even worry about it. Let us sit down and just kind of don't worry about it. And then we have, and remember the lockup date. I believe is the 20th. Is so they're done with the lockup date. So basically you can start trading whatever you want to. So yes, remember that date, and let's see what's gonna happen. And that's all the information that I have for you for today. Have a great night, and I will talk to you more about crypto this weekend. Have a good night.